Hello, Bob.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Bob, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Bob Simpson. I'm a creative director and partner at Rethink advertising agency and part-time filmmaker through Rethink as well.
Cool. So, Bob, tell us more about the film, about your film that you have in our
Yeah,
festival.
yeah, it's called Bring Back the Whistle Dog,
Mm,
and it's about this iconic hot dog that A&W in Canada. Um, it's a very popular product that for some reason or other sort of comes and goes from their menu, and it's got such a diehard fan following,
mm,
and those people love it so much so they get frustrated, and all these fans sort of took on took on the corporation in a sort of whimsical way, through various means, petitions, pestering them online, talking about them on the radio, and took on the corporation. And they won, but A&W also won,
mm,
because the product was extremely popular and sold out in crazy record time once it did come back.
mm. Cool.
And so yeah, so the film is profiling these people, some of the biggest diehard fans, and also talking to, getting the other side of the story, finding out from
Mm,
A&W about, it's not so simple as people love something, so we should bring it back. There's a lot more to it.
mm,
It also shows how, big companies, even if they're not replying to customer complaints and comments, they are listening, they do notice, they do care, but
mm,
sometimes it's their hands are tied. It's a little more complicated than people realize.
mm. Um, Bob, the movie is interesting, and you in like the shot list, or I want to say the screenplay of the movie, how it unfolds is interesting because we have people talking about how much they love this this meal. I want to ask you because when we talk food, we necessarily actually we're going to talk about politics behind the food.
Yeah.
Um, did you have to go and research, like, what's the political is there any political strategy behind it? Is there anything that was banned from the ingredients? Like, what was the research that you have to guys do in for you to be able to do the movie?
Yeah, I mean, the it's interesting because the whole thing came about out of our own questions, our own
Mm,
curiosity about it.
mm,
And so actually maybe I'll back up a bit. The project itself came about through A&W decided after several years, I think it was like 7 years or something, that they wanted to bring back the whistle dog. And
mm,
we all knew about these people on Instagram and Twitter who were constantly commenting, bring back the whistle dog. And
mm,
and so much so that they were posting these comments on every single thing A&W would post. The
mm,
comments would be overrun by people asking to bring back the whistle dog.
mm,
So once they decided to bring it back, it was obvious we had to do something for these fans. So we sort of selected a few that we thought would be fun to surprise, like show up at their door, show up at their homes or where they work, and surprise them with Whistle Dog. And the clients loved it. That was the idea. We'll surprise a bunch of them, package it up into a TV spot, and that can be used to promote the Whistle Dog. And so, we knew we were going to be flying to three or four, cities in Canada, taking a film crew along. We had the budget for that. And as is often the case on any project we do at Rethink, we're like thinking like, well, what else can we do? And just the thought of, taking a film crew to like three or four cities in Canada, just for a few seconds of surprising someone at the door seemed like a waste. Like there's more we could do with this. We're paying for these
mm.
people. You're paying the day for a
It's
film crew
costly
several days. Yeah. So
production. It's really
exactly.
costly.
So we had, the biggest part of the budget, the travel and all that was already paid for. They were like, there's got to be more we can do. And our art director, Ashley, just blurted out, it's like, we should make a documentary and we all just like we started howling, like just so absurd. It's like it's the whistle dog. It's this absurd product. And then we thought, like, you know what, this actually could be something. There's a bit of story there. We had our own, like we had no idea at the time. You know, we knew there were operational reasons why A&W didn't bring it back like before, but we didn't know exactly why. We didn't know why it was taken off. We didn't know who had taken it off. We know a lot of the people that work at headquarters, but we were just intrigued, like why was it discontinued? Even going back further, we're wondering like who invented it? Why is it called the whistle dog? All these things. And so yeah, so we simply, in wondering all these things on our own, that started to build up the questions and the sort of the path of the story. But also we had initial Zoom calls with the candidates, just to see if, just to sort of gauge their personalities, to see if they'd be, up to being filmed, just initially for the surprises alone, but also for the documentary. And everybody was super engaging, but most importantly, we had to gauge if they were legitimately fans of this hot dog as much as they appeared. Like, people might say stuff on Twitter, it might just be a lark. Like there's a guy that commented on every Instagram post that A&W did, and we're just thinking, is he just like taking the piss? Is he just screwing around, or does he actually care about this hot dog that much? And when we talked to these people, we learned, like, oh no, they really care. And so it as soon as we could tell there was true passion behind this, and then they had their own questions, and we knew they would ask all these questions that we had as well. So we knew it would be a robust story in the end.
Perfect. Bob, what did you learn personally and professionally after this documentary?
Personally, I learned how a documentary or any film project that's greater than just a TV spot, how it will take over your life, and you'll think about it 24 hours a day. Like I can't tell you, like, we lived and breathed this thing for about 3 months last year, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night with thoughts, questions to ask, angles, shots to get, thoughts about the story arc, all these things. It was all consuming. So I guess that's personal. And then professionally, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say I learned it, but I sure enjoyed the sort of the different roles people play. Like we had a small team on our side, about 5 or 6 people, mainly in the production on our side. When we get it editing, about 7 or 8 people on our side, and then we worked with this production collective called Anthill as our cinematographers and sound, and they were just a small team, but everybody was so committed to this, every single person, and everybody worked together really well. And so I guess we learned how to collaborate on a very complex little project, but we're all very, very proud of how it turned out, very pleased with how it turned out.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to know, how much time did it take to edit the documentary? Because I imagine that you guys got a lot of brushes.
Yeah. I mean, I keep, whenever I'm with my producer, Vings, our producer, I say, oh yeah, we had about 35 hours footage, and she's like, 60 hours. Like, the number was kind of crazy. We interviewed far more people than we had room to fit in. I think at one point it dawned on us, like, okay, we've got enough footage and interviews to do a feature, but this should probably not be a feature. We're hoping to be around the 20-minute mark. That was the goal. Sorry, 1 second. So we had about 50 hours so of footage. And so the process, I guess, beginning with the paper edit, so we had everything, all the interviews transcribed, and then writer Tom, Ashley, and I kind of went through it all. We all listened to the different interviews, pulled the best bits, then shaped it into a story. You know, having comments playing off each other, a question from the super fans, then an answer from the corporate people. Building out that paper edit took, I think, about a good week and a half, 2 weeks. And then of course the editors of wisely, they're like, we're not touching this till you do that paper edit. So, you know, we learned that part of the process. And our editors, Megan and Lee, were fantastic. They had documentary experience, and I think that certainly helped those of us who were first timers get through the process. And then the editing itself, I think it took about a month nearly. Yeah.
Bob, do you think, in your opinion, do you think that you need a documentary experience to do a documentary? And this question is for like the emergent first-time filmmakers.
Sorry, that you needed
Like a documentary experience behind you to be able to do your first documentary.
I think it helps. Like I said, this was our first attempt at a film longer than say 2 minutes. Like advertising, we don't make a lot of long form stuff, but we'd had some experience in like interviewing people, building these sort of mini documentaries. A&W, of course, has their they talk about their beef, and so we've interviewed ranchers. We've gone to like ranches and filmed them going about their day and B-roll, and combining that with the interview footage. So it kind of making these mini documentaries, I suppose, in a way. So we had, certainly was not even close to the undertaking of this, but certainly it helps to be exposed to a little bit of the process. I mean, there's so many aspects to it, and even just the editing process, we've done a fair bit of experience with that. But yeah, I mean, as far as getting experience, I think anybody could attempt just a small, like a 5-minute doc, interview some family member, put it together with like, get your grandfather to tell their story, and put it together with pictures and edit. I think for me, I think playing around with editing is the most important thing to learn. I think we're all filming things all the time, so we're all sort of super amateur DPs in a way, that we know how to capture content, but it's putting it together, trimming it up, tightening it up, telling a story, rearranging things to tell a certain story in a certain way. I think playing around with editing tools, which are pretty standard on most computers, would be super valuable thing to try.
Cool. Well, Bob, thank you for this interview. We're gonna be uploading it on our YouTube channel in Vimeo in a bit. I don't think you're gonna make it to Montreal, right?
You know what? I was there last week. I was literally there. We were there. I left Friday, and I was hoping the stars were going to align for this. So no, I'm unfortunately not going to be able to. I'd love to.
Yeah.
My
Maybe
family.
Yeah.
My family won't have it. Yeah, no. But we're hoping to send some colleagues are interested.
Yeah.
We're hoping that they'll be able to go. Yeah.
That would be cool. Thank you again, Bob. I wish you a very good day, and
Thank you.
maybe next year.
Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.